Hello friends, in this practical we will study the second part of our practical number 6, that is the another application of our op-amp, that is inverting amplifier. Now this is the circuit for your inverting amplifier. Now if you observe the circuit, then we will require one IC741 which is the op-amp IC, then one input resistor which is equals to 1 kilo ohm, that is R1, then one feedback resistor which is equals to 10 kilo ohm, that is RF. Then we are going to apply your input to the inverting input terminal and your non-inverting input terminal is grounded. As we are going to apply the input to the inverting input terminal and your non-inverting input terminal is connected with the ground, that's why this type of amplifier is called as an inverting amplifier, because the input is applied to the inverting input terminal. Now for our op-amp we will require the dual power supply, that is plus VCC and minus VCC, and we know the gain for your inverting amplifier which is equals to minus RF by R1. So when your input voltage equals to 1 volt, then what will be the output voltage theoretically? Now let's calculate the output voltage for the inverting amplifier when your input voltage equals to 1 volt. The gain for your inverting amplifier which is equals to minus RF by R1. So your output voltage, that is V out, which is equals to minus RF by R1 into your input voltage, that is V in, because we know the gain is nothing but what? The output voltage upon your input voltage. Now if you put all the values, that is your input resistor, then your input voltage, then your feedback resistor, that is RF, then your equation will be like this, that is your output voltage, that is V out, which is equals to minus 10 upon 1. Now here minus 10 indicates your feedback resistor, then 1 indicates your input resistor which is equals to 1 kilo ohm, and into your input voltage which is equals to 1 volt. So if you calculate your output voltage, then your output voltage will be equals to, that is V out, which is equals to minus 10 volt. Now here if you observe, here the input voltage which is equals to 1 volt, but our output voltage which is equals to minus 10 volt. As our output voltage is negative when your input voltage is positive, that indicates the output of your inverting amplifier, means your input voltage and output voltage are always 180 degree out of phase. Now let's see the experimental kit for your inverting amplifier. Now this is the experimental kit which we are going to use for this practical. Now if you observe the kit, first of all this is your op-amp, that is IC741. Then your input is applied to your inverting input terminal through one input resistor, that is R1. Now this is your R1 or your input resistor. Then we are going to apply the input to the inverting amplifier, inverting input terminal. Then your non-inverting input terminal is connected with the ground. Then one more feedback resistor is used which is equals to 10 kilo ohm. Then this is now for your plus VCC and minus VCC, because your op-amp requires the dual power supply, and this is the output terminal which we are going to calculate the output at this terminal. Now let's see the practical setup for the inverting amplifier. Now this is the practical setup for your inverting amplifier. Now your plus VCC is connected with the plus 15 volt, then your minus VCC is connected with the minus 15 volt. Then we are going to apply the DC input to the inverting amplifier. So positive terminal of your DC voltage which is applied to the pin number 2 or the input terminal or your inverting input terminal of your op-amp. Then the negative terminal of your supply is connected with the ground, and we are going to observe the output at pin number 6. Now the positive terminal of your multimeter is connected with the output, and your negative terminal of your multimeter is connected at the ground. Now let's see when your input voltage equals to 1 volt. Now your applied voltage which is equals to 1 volt, for 1 volt if you observe the output which is equals to minus 10 volt. Now that indicates when your input voltage equals to 1 volt for your inverting amplifier, for this reading our output voltage which is equals to minus 10 volt. That indicates your input voltage and output voltage are always 180 degree out of phase, and this negative sign indicates your input is applied to your inverting amplifier. Similarly, for previous part, that is for non-inverting amplifier, if you observe, your output voltage is positive, means your input voltage is applied to your non-inverting input terminal. And we have calculated the output voltage theoretically for this experiment when your input resistor which is equals to 1 kilo ohm, then your feedback resistor which is equals to 10 kilo ohm, and your input voltage which is equals to 1 volt. So for these readings, our theoretical output voltage which is equals to minus 10 volt, and if you check practically, then when your applied voltage equals to 1 volt, for this same reading we are getting output voltage which is equals to minus 10.006 volt. Now this is the output for your inverting amplifier. Thank you.